Most people only notice price increases after they become painful, when shelves already look thinner, when receipts suddenly feel heavier, when the same items cost noticeably more than they did a few months earlier. But experienced shoppers pay attention much earlier because they understand something important. Prices don't rise randomly. They rise in waves. And the people who recognize the early patterns usually save the most money and avoid the most stress. Now here's the pattern. The first items to surge in price are often the items tied directly to supply chains, fuel costs, packaging materials, global demand, everyday necessity. And once those pressures begin stacking together, price increases spread fast. Now here's the key insight. Bulk buying is not about panic. It's about timing. Because certain products are used continuously whether prices rise or not. Things like hygiene supplies, cleaning products, shelf-stable foods, batteries, basic household items. You are going to use them eventually anyway. So buying strategically before spikes happen creates stability later. Now here's the deeper issue. Most people shop reactively. They wait until they need something. But reactive shopping forces you to buy at whatever price exists in the moment. And during inflation or supply disruptions, that becomes expensive quickly. Now consider this. A product that slowly rises 10%, then 20%, then 40% feels manageable at first, until you realize you are paying dramatically more for the same basic necessities. Now here's another layer. Shortages and price spikes often reinforce each other. The moment people fear higher prices or reduced availability, demand increases, and increased demand accelerates both shortages and pricing pressure. Now here's why experienced shoppers focus on fundamentals. Because essentials remain useful regardless of economic conditions. You do not need to predict disasters. You only need to recognize recurring patterns. Supply instability. Item 1. Cleaning and sanitation supplies. This category gets underestimated constantly because during stable times, people assume these products will always be available and affordable. Soap, detergent, trash bags, disinfectants, paper products. They feel ordinary. But experienced shoppers know something important. Ordinary essentials become expensive very quickly once supply systems tighten. Now here's why that happens. Cleaning products depend heavily on packaging materials, chemical manufacturing, transportation, fuel costs. And when those systems become more expensive, the price increases spread directly to consumers. Now here's the key detail. These products are consumed continuously. You don't buy them once. You replace them over and over again. That makes long-term pricing extremely important. Now here's the deeper insight. Bulk buying works best on products with predictable future use. And sanitation supplies fit that perfectly. You already know they'll be needed later. Now consider this. A household may delay buying luxury products during inflation, but people still need soap, toilet paper, trash bags, cleaning products. That constant demand helps keep prices elevated once they rise. Now here's another layer. Shortages hit sanitation products especially hard during periods of public fear because people suddenly shift from casual purchasing to stockpiling behavior, and shelves empty far faster than supply chains can adjust. Now here's why experienced shoppers buy these items early, because they understand replacement pressure. Waiting until you're almost out forces you to pay whatever the current market price is. But stored essentials create breathing room. Now here's the pattern. The smartest bulk purchases are not exciting. They are repeat-use necessities with stable long-term value. Now here's why most people fail to prepare properly. Because they focus on immediate cost instead of future replacement cost. A slightly larger purchase today may prevent repeated higher-cost purchases later. Now here's the takeaway. Cleaning and sanitation supplies are not just household conveniences. They are recurring infrastructure needs. And when prices begin rising across transportation, manufacturing, and packaging systems, these everyday essentials often become much more expensive much faster than people expect. Item 2. Shelf-stable foods. This is one of the most important categories to understand correctly because many people bulk buy emotionally instead of strategically. They buy foods they crave, not foods that maintain long-term stability efficiently. Now here's the smarter approach. Focus on foods that are shelf-stable, calorie-dense, flexible, frequently used already. Things like rice, pasta, oats, beans, peanut butter. Canned foods, not because they're exciting, because they remain useful regardless of economic conditions. Now here's why these foods matter so much during inflation. Food prices rarely rise evenly. Staples often increase steadily because they depend on transportation costs, fuel prices, agricultural conditions, packaging costs, global demand shifts. And once those pressures stack together, basic food becomes significantly more expensive over time. Now here's the key detail. Shelf-stable foods give you time flexibility. You are not forced to buy immediately when prices spike because you already have reserves. That reduces stress and improves decision-making. Now here's the deeper insight. Preparedness is often about reducing forced decisions because forced decisions usually happen under bad conditions. Higher prices, lower availability, increased public demand. Stored staples interrupt that pressure. Now consider this. A family that already has several months of commonly used food stored can wait through temporary price spikes instead of reacting emotionally. That patience creates advantage. Now here's another layer. Shelf-stable foods reduce infrastructure dependency. No refrigeration required. Minimal spoilage risk. Long storage life. That reliability increases value during uncertain periods. Now here's why experienced shoppers focus on foods they already use regularly, because rotation matters. Stored food only creates value if it eventually gets consumed normally and replaced efficiently. Now here's the pattern. The best bulk buys are not emergency foods. They are normal foods with strong long-term stability. Now here's why most people buy poorly during inflation, because they focus on short-term cravings instead of long-term utility. But utility compounds over time. Now here's the takeaway. Shelf-stable foods are not just pantry items. They are price stability tools. And when food systems become more expensive and unpredictable, having reliable staples already stored gives you far more control than most people realize. Item 3. Batteries. Most people don't think about batteries until they suddenly need them. A storm hits, power goes out, a device stops working, and then everyone rushes to the same shelves at the exact same time. Now here's why batteries are one of the smartest bulk purchases before price spikes. They support multiple systems simultaneously, not just flashlights. Now think about everything dependent on portable power. Radios, lanterns, smoke detectors, thermometers, small medical devices, backup communication tools, remote controls, emergency lighting. One product category supports dozens of daily and emergency functions. Now here's the key detail. Batteries are heavily affected by manufacturing and transportation costs. Raw materials, shipping, packaging, and global demand all influence pricing. So when supply chains tighten, battery prices can climb quickly. Now here's the deeper insight. Portable power becomes more valuable when infrastructure becomes less reliable, and uncertainty increases demand immediately. Now consider this. The moment people fear outages or instability, battery shelves empty fast. Not because batteries disappeared, because demand spikes instantly. Now here's another layer. Batteries store capability. A flashlight without power is useless. A radio without batteries loses value. Stored batteries preserve functionality across multiple systems at once. Now here's why experienced shoppers buy common battery sizes early. AA, AAA, D-cell, 9-volt. Because common sizes remain useful across many different devices over time. That flexibility increases long-term value. Now here's the pattern. The smartest bulk purchases are items that last a long time, support multiple systems, become harder to replace during disruptions, and batteries fit all three. Now here's why most people wait too long. Because modern life makes power feel permanent. Devices stay charged, stores stay open, Replacement feels easy until infrastructure stress suddenly changes the equation. Now here's the takeaway. Batteries are not just convenience products. They are stored operational capability. And when uncertainty spreads through supply chains or power systems, people quickly realize how dependent modern life really is on small portable energy sources, which is exactly why experienced shoppers secure them before everyone else starts rushing for the shelves.